Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be 3 looks using one palette, and today's palette, actually in the first episode of this series, will be the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill palette, which will explain these. I have already reviewed this palette on my blog, so I would be extremely thrilled if you went over to my blog and read the review. Today's video is not going to be reviewing any kind. I'm only going to show you what kind of looks you can create with this palette. So today we'll be creating this look that I have on right now, which is kind of like a cut crease, a double cut crease with, you know, like a clear space in it. Then we're also going to create a halo eye and then just an all over matte look. If you want to see how I feel about this palette, and I think you should then head over to my blog to read a review, and then I think that's pretty much it that I have to say. Oh yes, today's video is also going to be a voiceover because I'm a little bit sick, so my throat is a bit sore. I want to say sour, no, sore. So I don't want to talk too much and further damage it. So yeah, it's going to be a voiceover that I will be recording a few days after this video. Anyway, let's get started with the first look. Okay, so first look it is. I'm zooming you guys in a bit. So the first shade that we're going to be using is the shade Agent, which is your typical orangey transitioning shade, and I'm just blending that into the crease and a little bit above, but I'm also extending it towards the brow bone to kind of create the cut crease shade that we want. I wanted to say halo shade, but that is incorrect. Once we completely blended out that shade, we're taking the shade Smooth Criminal and we're also blending that into the crease and a tiny bit above the crease to create some definition and depth to the look. And we're also extending that towards the brow bone to create the halo eye that we I'm doing it again, the cut crease shade that we want to use later on. So yeah, I kind of tap my brush with the pigment where I want the line to be, but Smooth Criminal is a tiny bit tricky to blend out, so you have to be really patient with this color. And then you just keep blending, as you can obviously tell. And I'm creating the line that we want later on. So yeah, blend is definitely a key word within this look, and especially with this palette. So finally, the next step is cutting the crease. I'm taking my favorite kind of concealerish product to do this with, and that is the Kevyn Aucoin Essential Skin Enhancer. First of all, I kind of paint my lid because that will be my guideline for the rest of my eye. It's kind of tricky to do a cut crease when you have kind of hooded eyes. I wouldn't necessarily say that you can't see my eyes, but they definitely have a deep set crease. So I do that, and then I draw a line, as you can tell, and then I just fill that in. With a cut crease, you have to be extremely patient, which is something that you will see. That's why I kind of sped up the entire video, because this took like 7 to 8 minutes to completely do this. But yeah, that's just the thing I'm doing. Next up, I'm taking a very tiny brush and dipping into the shade Smooth Criminal again. And I am redefining the kind of definition that we lost with that shade, as you can see here. Once that we are done with kind of redefining our look, I'm just going to blend out that particular shade, Smooth Criminal. Next up, we're taking the shade Top Secret, and this is quite unfortunately my favorite shade in the entire palette, but also a very tricky shade to work with, which is something that you will see later on. It's definitely not easy to work with at all. So I'm just packing on Top Secret on the outer corner of my eye, leaving a tiny little space between Top Secret and Smooth Criminal, which we blended into the crease and kind of cut. And this will later on be our negative space, so kind of like a clear line between the different colors. So I'm just packing, and then eventually blending out that shade. Okay, so next up we're finally starting with the shimmers. I am taking probably my favorite shimmer shade in the entire palette, which is the shade Classified, and I'm just applying that to the center of the lid. And I'm also blending that together with the shade Top Secret, of course, to create a effortless blend. Then I'm taking the shade Guilt Trip and I am applying that to the inner part of the lid, so basically almost the inner corner, and then you have like a gradual ombre effect between the two shimmers. I do find that it is very hard to tell the difference between Guilt Trip and Classified onto the eye, but it's very subtle, but I think that makes the ombre effect even more beautiful. Next up, I'm taking a very tiny pencil brush, almost a lip brush, and I'm taking some of that concealer and kind of redefining the clear space between the two parts of the eye. Then I'm wiping with a cotton pad the excess, kind of thing that I want to get rid of, to create a very sharp line so that everything is quite neat. So yeah, and then I'm also kind of cleaning up the fallout, especially from the shimmer shades. Okay, so face is done, but I need some foundation and stuff, so here we go. Next up, I'm taking the shade VIP and I'm applying that to the brow bone and the inner corner as a highlight. Then I'm applying some mascara, which is obviously my favorite, the L'Oreal Baby Roller Baby Doll. I still don't know, I can't remember. And I'm applying that to the lashes. So I decided to finish off the face with the MAC Cosmetics lipstick in Whirl, and this is the final look. I hope you liked it, and definitely stay watching for the second look. Okay, so second look it is. Okay, so first up, taking the shade Access and blending this into the crease. Access is definitely my favorite shade in this entire palette, but it is a little bit bland when it comes to pigmentation, so you have to build it up quite a bit. Next up, I'm taking the shade Secure and I'm also blending that into the crease, but a little bit lower than where I blended Access to create some definition. And this look will be extremely simple and easy to do because it's only matte shades and it's really building up the layers. Next up, I'm taking the shade Smooth Criminal and yet again blending that into the crease, and this time a little bit more towards the lid, and we're preparing that shade for a new shade. I decided to focus my camera, but it eventually ended up in not being focused at all, so I'm very sorry about that. As I said before, Smooth Criminal is a tiny bit tricky to blend out, so you have to have a lot of patience for the shade again. Next up, we're taking the shade Prowl and we're just packing this onto the lid. The shade was very hard to work with, also very patchy, so I had to build it up quite a bit. and then I started blending it out into the crease. Later on in this look, I repeated all 4 steps. So I reapplied Access, reapplied Secure, reapplied Smooth Criminal, and reapplied Prowl. And this is what we ended up with. So the shimmer shade I took was Guilt Trip, and I applied that to the brow bone and the inner corner for, you know, a beautiful inner corner highlight. And then again applying some of the L'Oreal Baby Roll Baby Doll, who cares, mascara to my lashes. This is the finished look from up close, the eyes. I applied the Nabla Dreamy liquid lipstick in the shade Ritual. Yes, Ritual. So third and final look. So first up again, taking the shade Access and blending this into the crease as we have done before. As I already said, I really love this shade. And then again, identical to the second look, taking the shade Secure and blending that into the crease as well to create some definition. So then again, I'm taking the shade Top Secret and I am applying that to the outer part of the eye, but I'm also going to apply it to the inner part of the eye because we're going to be creating a halo eye, not a cut crease, but a halo eye. I'm not going to mess it up this time. And I'm just packing the shade on because the pigment is kind of lacking, and I'm really trying my best with the shade, but unfortunately it wasn't that great. The key with this look is to keep blending as if your life depends on it, and really blend the 2 shades that were underneath it together because it's just so vital, but it wasn't really working. So my camera decided to shut off and I was already starting to do my highlight, so I took the Kevyn Aucoin concealer again and kind of applied a tiny bit onto my lid, the center of my lid, and now you can see how I'm kind of creating the highlight that I want. So once I was done with the creation of the halo shape, I went back in with the shade Top Secret, and my god, that was a mistake, as you can clearly tell. The pigment of Top Secret started to kind of grip onto the concealer and you couldn't blend it out anymore, creating this extremely patchy mess, as you can see. I included a little close-up. To kind of rescue the entire situation, I went in with the shimmer shade Coin and kind of covered up those unblended edges because I tried but I couldn't blend them out, and this kind of rescued the situation. Then I took my Fenty Fly liner and I tried to create a wing. The wing that I have created is not very good because I was extremely hungry, so I was shaking all the time, but I tried. So next up I decided to yet again apply some of the L'Oreal Baby Roll Doll mascara to my lashes because obviously I do not have another mascara, which is sarcasm. Thank you very much, people. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the final look, and I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah. So that, guys, completes this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you liked the 3 looks that I created. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.